All right. So the number one thing that is holding you back from attracting women, being attractive to women, and ultimately getting a girlfriend is your attitude. If you have a shitty attitude, it's a major turnoff, and it shows up before a woman ever even meets you. It shows up in your body language, it shows up in your walk, it shows up in your conversation, it shows up in the words you choose to use. Basically, if you have a crappy attitude, either toward women or more likely toward yourself and your self-perceived limitations, it's going to be a major turnoff to women because it's going to be an influence on every single thing you say and do in your life. So if you think you're ugly, then you're going to act like you're ugly. If you think you're stupid, you're going to act like you're stupid. If you think that you're poor, well, you might be poor. But, if you don't think you're good enough in any particular area, then you're going to act not worthy. You're going to act like you're not deserving of what you truly want and desire. And the thing is that it's just your perception. Like these beliefs were instilled and ingrained in us throughout our lives, but primarily in childhood. And it's been a long time since I've been licked, just saying. Anyway, so, whatever happened to us when we were young, whether it was from our parents or other influential authorities in our lives or bullying at school, or it could even have been something that happened later in life, or it could have been something that happened throughout high school if you kept getting rejected throughout high school because you were just super shy, or maybe you got shuffled around to different schools, like to 8 different schools like I did. I was so clinically shy that I couldn't even walk down the street and not be super self-conscious and feel just really, really shitty about myself. And it took a long time to actually get over it because I didn't know how to. It was trial and error for a long, long time. Like, you guys are lucky because if you have stuff that you need to fix in your life, there's lots of help. I'm here. Here I am helping you so that you don't have to go through all the years of trying to figure it out like I did. I finally figured out how to get over all the crap that made me feel crappy about life. And it took me into my 30s. When I was at my prime, seriously, I was making the most money. I was in the best shape of my life. I looked the best ever. I had a super awesome career and was making bank. And that was when I was the most insecure ever. So it really has nothing to do with what you look like, what you have, how much you even know. It's really all about how you see yourself, because how you see yourself, I've lost my co-host. How you see yourself is going to be reflected in everything you do, and it's going to influence everybody around you, every interaction you have, whether it's with women, whether it's with bosses, whether it's with friends or acquaintances or strangers, or anybody that's in your world is going to be influenced by the way you think of yourself. So you have to start changing your belief systems about what you lack. Because if you look around in the world, there are people who are not as smart as you, not as rich as you, not as good looking as you. Seriously, like, okay, let me word it maybe in the way that you're used to telling yourself, who are uglier than you are, who are poorer than you are, who are stupider than you are, right? You're using these words that are reaffirming your own beliefs about your limitations instead of actually doing something about them. So it's not to say that some of the things you believe about yourself might not be true, but if you just keep leaning on the victim mentality that you don't have a symmetrical face, or that you're too short, or that you're fat, or you have a small dick, any of these things that you think are a serious limitation to getting the kind of girl you want, you're right, because you believe it to be true. And there are examples in the world of people who have far less than you have that have got really great women. And there's a guy, and I can't even remember his name, but he has no arms and no legs, and he's married to a beautiful woman. Now, what did he have to do to get there? Well, he became a very charismatic, engaging public speaker, and yeah, he did end up building up some level of status, power, wealth. I mean, he's not rich, but he's doing pretty good. So what happened in his life is that he chose not to lean on, well, he can't lean on anything because he's got no arms and legs, but, well, he could lean like this. Anyway, the point is that he chose not to be limited by what other people would see or potentially see as a limitation. And he chose to move forward and make the best out of his life in whatever way he could. And he feels empowered. He is empowering other people. As soon as I think of his name, I'll make sure that I write it or put his picture up or whatever. And this is just one example. I mean, the reason why these examples stand out is because these are the type of people who have the courage to do what you must do to get what you want. You can get what you want if you learn to do what you must do. So if you are not that bright, okay, I don't think we can really change our IQ, but we can change how much knowledge we have. You can become an expert in something that you're really passionate about. When you're an expert in something, it's really attractive because you've actually given proof. Women are always looking for proof, subconsciously. So you give proof of commitment. You're committed to learning about a particular topic and becoming a master at it. Like, I'm using all the ones that I get all the time from guys who contact me and they're insecure about certain things, especially. So for example, height. Okay, well, dude with no arms and legs, short. I have a friend who's in a wheelchair. He's a quad. He's got a little bit of use of both hands, I think. And you should see his girlfriends. Holy crap. But he's really solid within himself. He's been in the chair for a long time. I don't know if he ever saw it as a limitation, but he certainly doesn't now. He definitely doesn't show any kind of lack of self-esteem because he's in a wheelchair. And hello, he gets beautiful women. So you've got to really change your attitude about your limitations. And certainly it means accepting the things that you can't change, but also it means changing the things that you're really not happy about that you can change. And actually, like, I go through this a lot in my Wake Up to Love program, where I go through basically all the areas of life that are sort of important, well, not sort of, that are important to women about men, and how to improve each of those areas as much as you can so that you can be happy with yourself. And then also, so that's really super attractive to women. And yes, women like all kinds of different things, but there are some basic things that all women are appreciative of, and they all stem from having a good attitude about your own self-worth, about who you are as a man. Like, you have to just own who you are as a man. I know it's super hard. That's why in my program, I give you the step-by-steps. It's every day for 6 weeks. You've got homework to do morning and night and throughout the day to basically brainwash yourself, to re-brainwash yourself into a positive, more attractive vibe, attitude, confidence. And there's work in there that you do at home on your own, writing stuff down, thinking whatever. Like, I ask you questions that you don't like, but you have to answer them. And then there's stuff that you actually get to do. And I say get to do. There's a key point right there. Get to do instead of have to do. You get to do in the real world that's actually going to build the skills and take you out of being afraid. Don't be a fraidy bird. You got to be a brave bird and get out there and start doing things that will challenge yourself into becoming more confident in the world. And I'll tell you right now, whatever you choose to do, just challenge your comfort zone and take baby steps. You don't have to go and jump in the deep end. When I started getting over shyness, the first things I did was just practice walking down the street without listening to earbuds. It was really awkward, as I'm sure some of you can imagine if you're shy or insecure. And from there, kind of built up until finally I actually did apply to do a TED Talk. TED Talks, that's big. And they rejected my application. Or let me rephrase that. They didn't accept my application, but it was still took a lot of courage just to press send, like, I'm applying for this potential opportunity. And from there, I was like, what if they say yes? I went and took a course on how to give a TED Talk, how to do an engaging TED Talk. There's things that you can do that will help you move forward in becoming the better you that you really truly want to be and that you can be. And again, like I said, it's not about becoming something or someone you're not. You don't want to be someone you're not. Authenticity is so attractive, just owning who you are. And that means also owning some of what you might think of as flaws. I used to think that being an introvert was a flaw. And now I'm like, bitch, I'm an introvert. Okay, so maybe I don't say that. I do to my gay drag friends. But anyway, so some people might consider, if you're shy or if you are an introvert, you might think that that's a flaw, but it's actually not a flaw. Introverts tend to be really good at listening and picking up on subtleties. And, you know, there's a whole Myers-Briggs thing. If you're not familiar with that, you can always go over and check out what your personality is. I am a INFJ-T. So I'm kind of same on thinking, feeling, which is probably why I understand how men think better than most women would. Yeah, either that or I'm weird. So yeah, so that's the thing. So thoughts affect your beliefs, and your beliefs affect your actions. So if you want to change your actions in the world, you got to reverse engineer and you got to change your thoughts. And yep, that's going to take time. And the first thing is just awareness. You have to be aware that what you're thinking about yourself is not working for you, the negative things. So I was sort of describing to some girlfriends the other day 2 ways of saying the same thing. And I'll give you the example, and you can listen. You can see that one way really sounds negative and the other way is like, oh, that sounds positive. So here's the example. I always gain weight in my middle first. Right? Okay, so I always gain weight in my middle first. Is the very same thing, but sounds a lot different than, wow, I always lose weight in the middle first. Yay. That's this in sign language, which I'm learning. Anyway, so that's the thing. You can word things differently, and you absolutely must stop saying, I can't. It's not that you can't, it's that you choose not to. If you take all your can'ts and turn them into won'ts, you'll realize where your power is, in that you choose not to do something that would maybe get you out of your comfort zone in order to expand your being, or to diversify your knowledge, or to get more physically fit. So wherever you are struggling, you need to sort of look at that and work on it. You need to be able to take whatever you've got and not focus on that as a flaw or as a disability. Because if that's constantly what you're thinking, then that's what the world is going to reflect back to you, is your attitude about yourself. So many guys that have been watching my videos that have actually made comments, and I don't know how many have watched my videos and haven't made comments but feel this way, are really, really down on themselves. And I don't mean like down on themselves. I mean like they're so hard on themselves. There's another one, innuendo. But you got to stop doing that. Like, it's just so unattractive. I mean, it's unattractive right on the surface, but then it's unattractive in the way that you brainwash yourself into feeling less worthy than you really are. Okay, so I don't know if you believe in God, but if you do, my mom used to always say, God doesn't make junk. And so if God made you, you're not junk. And you just need to get on board with me and God, because we don't think you're junk. We think you're awesome. And you just need to figure that out. And if you need some help with that, then definitely take my course, because it's going to show you how to get past the thinking. But even if you don't, just start with catching yourself, telling yourself crappy things, and start changing the story. And if you can't say I'm tall, but you could say, oh, okay, wait a minute. It's not that women like tall men. It's that women like, typically, men who are a bit taller than them. This is actually true. That is a statistic. So if you're short, yeah, your options are probably going to be a little bit more limited. It doesn't mean that you can't get a woman. It means that you're going to have to be really confident to get a woman who is taller than you. Hello, Joe Rogan. He wasn't super famous or rich or good looking when he met his freaking model wife. And yeah, he had purpose and drive to become famous, but she bet on him, not even knowing if he would be able to do that, when she could have gone with a bazillion other guys who were taller, better looking, who already had money, etc., etc. So you have to be good with yourself. And the other thing too, which is really super key, is trying to have a purpose in life. It doesn't have to be particularly one thing, but if you have a passion that you look forward to doing, no matter who's in your world, whether it's, skiing or gaming is kind of iffy, but if there's anything that you want to get really, really good at, that you can be passionate about, that you are committed to, women see that. They see the passion, they see the commitment, they see the dedication, and that all translates into positive relationship qualities that women look for subconsciously. So I know I've rambled on here, and it's probably not what you wanted to hear, but the good news is that it is something that you can change. You can improve your attitude. You can change your belief system to one that will serve you. So my homework for you is just to try and catch yourself whenever you're thinking a negative thought about yourself and try to turn it around into a positive story. Like someone made a comment, another comment on one of my posts that he had a big dick. Well, guess what? I got an email from a guy who had a big dick and it was a problem in his relationships because it was too big. So turn it around. My dick fits most women. At least I can get it in. Oh gosh, am I going to get filtered on this? Height. Okay, I'm not going to get necessarily the really tall ones that are concerned about being with someone who's taller than them, but there's lots of women out there who are my height or shorter. You have to be looking at the positive possibilities and stop focusing on the negatives. You got to do a checkup from the neck up and have that attitude adjustment. It's like going to the chiropractor. It's like going to the mental chiropractor. The AJRX, checkup from the neck up, have an attitude adjustment, and start focusing on the positives and the possibilities, and catch yourself when you are calling yourself out. Would you say that? Would you want to say that stuff to someone you really cared about and loved? You shouldn't want to do that. You should want to uplift the people that you love. And the first person that you should want to uplift and be your biggest cheerleader is for yourself. I'll be your second biggest cheerleader, but you got to be your first biggest cheerleader. So that is my positive rant today. I hope you got something out of it. If you really are struggling with this and you need a step-by-step daily guide for what to do in what areas of your life to improve, where women will want you to improve and where you will appreciate your own improvement, then check out that program, my Wake Up to Love program. I will put a link in the description below. Okay. Remember, I am good enough. Say that. I am good enough. I am good enough. I am good enough. I want you to say that. Write it in the comments below. I am good enough. If you're really brave, say, I am good enough for what I really want. I am good enough for what I really want, because you are. And that's all I've got. Like, subscribe, share, comment. I will see you in the next video. Anyway, totally different. Where was I?